All right. Hey, everybody. We just want to welcome you to this time together that we have with Dr. Tina and Kathy Cordell, two medical professionals who are enamored by essential oils, right? And we use them amazingly well for ourselves and for our families, but we have also found that there are so many ways that we can bless other people with essential oils. So I'm just going to send it over to Tina. If you could just introduce yourself and just tell us a little about who you are and how you started in doTERRA.
Okay, so my name is Dr. Tina Wong, and I'm a pediatrician. I've been doing that for 20 years. And I also am a mom. I'm a wife. I have 7 kids. My husband and I, we homeschool all 7 of them. I'm a follower of Christ. And doTERRA came into my life about 3 years ago. My friends homeschool, so they're all very natural, and they were talking about essential oils and how amazing they are. And I was very skeptical that could do that. But I said, well, I should really be open to this because none of my friends were selling it. And so I knew that what they were saying was not biased and not affiliated with any type of financial gain. And so I said, okay, I'm going to look for a class. And then couldn't find one that worked for my schedule. I had like twins at the time that were 1. And so my friend happened to call me that I hadn't seen for like 13 years. And she said, you know what? I'm doing essential oil classes. Can I come to your house? And I said, yes, I've been looking for this. So she came to my house, and it was actually like, I always tell my friends, don't ever feel weirded out about asking people if they can host. Because like for me, I wanted to host. It was easier for people to come to me than for me to go to them, honestly, with all my kids. So she came over, and she ended up bringing a dentist who my husband works with. My husband's an orthodontist. And this dentist was like totally on board, like using it for all of this type of discomfort control when he does his procedures. He's an oral surgeon, so he does wisdom teeth, you know. And my husband's like, wow, that's amazing. And he just said, okay, we're going to get the diamond kit. And I'm like, we're not going to get the diamond kit because I don't even believe in this stuff. We're getting the family essentials kit. And then it was just a whole, like, we were arguing about it. And then he ended up getting it his way because he said, look how you're saving so much, and this, that, and the other. And so I ended up sitting for 6 months, except the Family Essentials kit came out, and I started using it slowly. And at the time, I was having very bad wrist discomfort, like cooking, cleaning, diaper changing was horrible, and I had to wear a brace, and I was taking, NSAIDs throughout the day, which is really not good for your stomach. But I had to do that to get by. So anyway, I started to use the oils for that, and it took that discomfort away. And I was really surprised. And then I said, okay, I have 7 test subjects in my house. I'm going to use these oils on all of them. I started reading, and like I would go to them before any type of pharmaceuticals. And I was surprised every single time. And so I started to research more and more. And I started to get bolder with telling my patients, have you ever heard of essential oils? Would you like to learn? And that's how it started. And my husband, he's a very business-minded person in general. He has his own business. And so he saw from the beginning that I could do this. And I fought him tooth and nail. And I said, no, I'm too busy. I homeschool 7 kids, and I also practice. And he says, no, you really should just share with people and have classes all the time. And I'll watch the kids and this, that, and the other. And finally it came to a point we were arguing so much about it, and I just said, okay, Lord, in my prayer time I said, either I submit to him or we just continue to argue. And God just said, just submit to him. I mean, what harm is there? Just try it out. And so I started to have more classes, and lo and behold, it was actually really fun. And I've learned a lot about how business people operate. They're not evil. you know They aren't. You're sleazy when you're trying to sell something they don't want, or you're tricking people, hoodwinking people. But this is not about that. This is showing people how to use something that's natural, and showing them the best way to get it and where to get it that is a reliable brand, And so that's where I'm at now. My husband and I, we are diamond leaders. We have this beautiful team that we love, and really their success is our success, and that is what drives me. I really want to see them succeed. So a lot of the homeschool friends I was talking about that were buying the essential oils and they're all doing the business now. And I love seeing that because a lot of them are on single incomes, and so this is what they're going to do after they raise their kids. Their kids are all growing just like mine are, and they just love it. So anyway, this is the place I'm at, and I love Kathy. I met her at a sourcing trip, and I've been watching her Facebooks, and I just love her energy. My people love her energy. I don't know where they're at. I think they're at soccer games or something. but I'm glad this is being recorded. So that's about me. I want to hear about you, Kathy.
Well, I just love your story because, you know, I think that a lot of times we just come into doTERRA reluctantly, especially as medical professionals who have been taught the traditional ways, that this, you know, can seem like snake oils, or to me, you know, from even a spiritual perspective, I really thought that it was like new age spirituality behind it, that there was really something different, that I was very, not only skeptical, I was just kind of creepy. You know, I mean, I just didn't
want to go there.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to cross that line. And then I had my own health consequences, and you know, I knew that from what was going on in my body, that I was going to start going down that rabbit hole of pharmaceutical medications, possibly even surgeries. I had bilateral frozen shoulders and a body that didn't work very well. I couldn't, Tara knows this. Tara's on my team. She's down there. She's heard the story probably 100 times, but, you know, couldn't roll over in bed. And when I got to the point where I really couldn't even function, it was really scary. And we knew that, you know, it was going to be, like I said, a medical rabbit hole for something that seemed like it was mimicking even something as serious as ALS. And so I started to do some chiropractic treatments, went to the physical therapist and then my massage therapist. And both the chiropractor and the physical therapist were going towards the way of nothing was working. So they were asking me questions that seemed like they were asking me about MS or ALS or something like that. But my massage therapist was using essential oils when she was doing the massages on me. And I knew I felt good when I left, but it was like, well, it was a massage, right? So I will feel better. So I asked her to come over. Actually, she asked me if she could come over and tell me about the essential oils and, you know, poo-pooing the whole thing. Actually, I knew I needed supplements, but I did not know I needed essential oils. That was just kind of the weird piece of this whole thing. I was skeptical it wasn't going to work. But I knew how to take a pill. So I started to take the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And
you hadn't taken vitamins before that?
No, I couldn't, because they always hurt my stomach. And so I couldn't take those hard vitamins. And, you know, you go to the store and it's like you look down 6 aisles full of stuff, and what am I supposed to take? You know, what's good, what's not good, what, you know, and what combinations do I need to take what? And so when Pam told me about the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and like everything was there that I was going to need, and it was just like, well, you know, like, okay, this is what my body needs. So I ended up getting the Natural Solutions kit because I wanted the supplements. And I thought, I'll give all these oils back to you in a week. And she said, no, you won't. You're going to find things to use these oils for. So literally within 3 days of taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack, I had hope back. I really felt like
3 days.
What's that?
3 days.
3 days. That's all it took. Yes, just 3 days. I've got a little monster running around in the back of me there. I've got 2 little monsters. Got my grandkids today. So, yeah, but it was pretty amazing. The drastic results within just 3 days. And within 5 days, I had not been able to use my arms for almost 7 months to even brush my teeth or tie my shoes or anything. And I was worshiping again. I was raising my hands above my head and worshiping within about 5 or 6 days. And within a couple of weeks, I was kayaking again down in Colorado. Yes, and it was awesome. So I thought,
you look so healthy.
What's that?
You look so healthy.
Oh, I try. I'm not the best.
No, you really do. I would. Yeah.
Hang on just a second. You guys. Out of your room. I think they're all out of here now. Okay. Yes, I see little ones running around behind you too, Tina.
Yes,
so,
yes.
But it's really, really been amazing. Then I thought, well, is there something to this spiritually? Like, do you think God really wants me to do this? And so I picked up this book, the Bible, and I started to read through it, and I was like, well, like, there's this thing called the Garden of Eden, and like all of these things were created from the beginning of time on the third day, these secrets that God put in these plants, and then pharmaceutical companies picked out one by one and decided, okay, we'll just synthesize that one thing in that plant and give it to people, and it's an overload of that one thing in lavender or that one thing in peppermint that we might need. Instead of using everything and the complete life force that God put together for us to synergize and work well in our body. And I'm like, okay, I got it. But then my medical brain kicked in, right? Then I had to pick up the chemistry of essential oils. My chemist background came in.
That's right.
And
you're a biochemist, right?
I am a biochemist, cellular biology and microbiology.
Oh, wow.
That's,
I love cellular biology. Yeah.
So I picked up that book, and it was like, yay! I now know the why, these essential oils work. I know why they work in the body. I know why our cells are so excited when they get these essential oils and they work correctly. And I thought, you know what, I just can't not tell people about this, because I was never going to do this as a business. I was never going to tell anyone about this because I was kind of weird for doing it in the first place, right? So then when I started telling my friends, and the first class I had, 13 people were here and 10 people enrolled, I was like, okay.
That's confirmation.
Want this? Right? Yeah. So isn't it fun, Tina? Isn't it fun?
It's fun. It's fun. And, I've developed in many ways that I don't think I would have if I had just not done doTERRA.
For sure.
I didn't do Facebook before doTERRA. I'm not, not that that's amazing. It's a great way to connect with people. Right. I used to be very afraid of technology, to be honest with you. I used to think I'd have my husband come in and fix something for me. And now I'm just like, I can figure this out,
Right. Right.
And then plus just health wise, I have no aches and pains. A lot of my friends are, in the 40s, 50s, and they're just complaining this, that, and the other, how tired they are. And I'm just like, I feel great. It is the LLV.
Yeah.
It is the LLV.
Yeah. It is the basis of what we do for sure. For sure.
Right. Right. And it's go ahead.
I often call doTERRA a self-development program wrapped in a compensation plan. Like, it becomes our counselor, it becomes the avenue, it becomes the vehicle for us to be able to change and grow. And then we get a paycheck, and it's like, oh, wow, that's awesome. So I love this. Not everybody wants to do this. I believe that anybody can, but not everybody wants to, and that's okay. We need our customers too. I believe everybody in the world needs essential oils. Yes. Not everybody wants to do this as a business, and that's okay. But there are going to be some who do, some who see it. One of my biggest strengths is being futuristic. And I look out there and I see that the world wants what we have to offer, and I see that, and I see now that I want to be a part of that. I want to be a big piece of that cog in that wheel that is going to bring essential oils into the mainstream of medicine, so that my grandchildren who were just playing behind my chair are going to know that essential oils aren't weird. They're not wives' tales. This is real, valid, scientific, medicinal stuff that we're using here. So
on a molecular level, right? On a molecular level.
On a molecular level, yeah. So being a doctor, this is kind of where I want to go with you. What do you see as being the face of medicine with essential oils in the future?
I do see, as there is more openness and there's more of a movement growing, that they will become mainstream. That is what I see. However, I also see the other angle. A lot of my friends are busy doctors. They don't want to be having to learn something new, and then they don't want to be that trailblazer, and be ridiculed, right?
Right.
And then they'll just use like being too busy as a guise for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel sad about that. But that is not everyone. I have definitely multiple doctors on my team, and that I know who are on my team who use the essential oils in their practice, and they use them for themselves and for their families, and they're very open. So I always tell my friends, if you don't want to be left behind, get on the bandwagon now, because this is where medicine is going, and it's not just the scientists, but it's the whole society. Everyone wants something natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. I mean, people are tired of their pills, and they're tired of the pain, and they need a better foundation of health. I always tell people that oils work a lot better if how you're moving and what you're eating and how you're sleeping is good, and you can use oils for all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's where I see it. I see it eventually really being at the forefront, and just right now, it's an uphill.
It is. I call it, I live in Wyoming, so pushing a rock up a hill, in a snowstorm. I mean, it's like really, really tough, but if not us, then who? And it will be somebody, because I really see the essential oil movement as being a real grassroots movement. Instead of the politicians and the medical professionals telling us what to do, patients now are starting to walk into offices and telling doctors what they want to do. And a part of that is becoming the essential oils. And if a doctor doesn't know about that, I believe that eventually, very shortly, they're going to feel left out. They're going to start to feel behind the times. And so there's going to start being more education and, CEUs, hopefully, that are going to come around essential oil use and what that means. But also that from a perspective in medical training, we need to start this in the medical schools, and that there's going to be some training in the medical schools. Now, I can hope this, and I can pray about this, and I can see it happening in the future, but I also know that if we're not the ones pushing that agenda now, it's not going to look like that in 20 years. So who are we going to be able to help push that agenda? And Tina, you and your husband, you have way more influence than I do. So I'm really excited about what you're doing there in California.
We're excited. There's definitely a movement here. And then just the fact that we learned at convention that they're starting these doTERRA Prime Meridian clinics. And they have a whole app called Epocrates, or it's based on Epocrates, where you can put in an ailment and then it points you to the essential oils. I mean, that is there already. It's just a matter of how are we going to launch this and, give it to the providers who are open to this.
Exactly.
It's definitely there.
Yeah, it's definitely there. And then the research, because, admittedly, we live in a world that is research driven. It has to be clinically proven. And that's the way the American Medical Association has set everything up, that if it isn't clinically proven in trials, then we can't use it. And so that is what's happening with essential oils right now. The clinical trials are happening. The proving it is starting to happen. And so the light bulbs are starting to come on for a lot of doctors. I mean, we're talking about, conditions, such as even, cancer. I mean, hard things that essential oils now, we are starting to get the research out that we're starting to prove that these things are happening. For instance, and I'd like some for instances for you too about how you've effectively used essential oils. But one of my husband's friends is a biker. My husband is a huge mountain biker. And his friend came over the other day, and he was just diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now, who knows if that's because of his biking lifestyle or what that is, but whatever it is, he now has prostate cancer in his late 50s. And most likely is going to have a surgical procedure next month. so it's like a month away. So here he is in this 30-day period, worried, wondering, what are these cancer cells doing in my body? Are they going to metastasize?
Right.
What are they doing? What's it doing to me? So when he came over yesterday, I was able to share essential oils with him that are, may help in this condition. They may, and now he went home feeling like, I really feel like I have some options of what I can do in the next 30 days, to be able to help my body fight whatever's going on. And that made me feel so good. And I know they don't have a lot of money. So for me, I was able to just give them this stuff and bless them with it. I think that's fantastic. So do you have any, for instances like that, where you've really been able to help people?
Yeah, I would have to say with seasonal discomfort, when the pollen is high.
Yes.
A lot of people have gotten off of their Benadryl and Zyrtec by using the lavender, lemon, and peppermint. Regular. That's huge. And then, with the respiratory attacks, the Breathe has been great for that. Okay, and I have a couple people on my team who have high cholesterol, and they had pre and post labs using lemongrass and coriander faithfully twice a day, and their cholesterols came down. And I have one gal who is now able to move her feet. She used to have such rigidity in her feet because she had a horrible accident. She's a teacher in the classroom. She fell, and then she didn't go through PT properly, so she developed a lot of constrictions, and started to take the deep blue polyphenol and the LLV, and now she can walk. She lost her cane at the convention, and she hasn't gotten a replacement. And then, and then the same gal she is off her blood pressure meds. She's in her 70s. She takes the LLV faithfully. She takes frankincense, Siberian fir. I think she added pink pepper, yarrow too. She just takes everything. And then, she does this roller ball over her heart and her wrist of marjoram and lavender and lemongrass. It's in the Modern Essentials book, but its consistency is so key. And I have to say, consistency for those chronic conditions like the blood sugar issues, the cholesterol issues, and even with infections, like any type of overgrowth, like microbial overgrowth in your body. As those guys divide. Right. Once they divide so many times and they overwhelm your immune system, then that's it, right? So that's why the oils cannot be used just once to expect effectiveness. They
exactly. From that cellular biology perspective, I love to talk about that. That cellular health and the fact that the outside, if we look at our cell as like a water balloon, it's that outside of the cell is made of lipids. It's made of fats, a phospholipid layer, and so essential oils are lipids, and oils and water don't mix, but oils attract oils. And so that phospholipid layer really attracts those lipid molecules literally right into the cell. And there is no pharmaceutical medication that is able to get inside of a cell and be able to help with those, like you said, overgrowth of those processes. Viruses actually get into the DNA, and that's how they make babies. Right? I mean, they use our DNA, they make babies, the cells burst, and then they go into other cells, and that's how those nasty, colds and flus just spread. And so those essential oils are so, so valuable to help those processes. But like Tina just said, we have to take these very consistently. It's not like I'm going to take my On Guard once. It's when you actually have a process going on every hour. Be hitting it with the oils, because those viruses are going, hey, I want to replicate, right? So you got to kind of keep hitting it.
Right. This is one of my favorite books. I don't know if you have it, Evidence-Based Essential Oil Therapy.
I don't. I need it.
You need this. This is going to just really help you bless a lot of people, because in the beginning, like I said, I started off as a skeptic, and I would use the oils a few times, and I'd say, I still feel sick, and then I crack this book open, and it says use 5 times a day. And it also says, aromatic, topical, and internal, it tells you, because if you do it all 3 ways, your body is seeing it, all that. And so I went to the Las Vegas Essential Oil and Medical Symposium that just occurred about 3 weeks ago. And they talked about how essential oils, and they showed us how essential oils fit in the same receptor sites as pharmaceuticals. Exactly. They fit there because they have these 3D molecules now that are they call them in silico studies, meaning they're on the computer studies. And they've been able to extrapolate what these proteins look like, what their receptor site looks like. And, the drugs fit right there. But then, you know what? The essential oils fit the same exact place. But the difference between the oil and the medicine is that the oil has less affinity. They tend to not want to stick as much. They're off, on, off, on, off, on. So that's why you don't have as many side effects. Because the pharmaceuticals, it's like a magic bullet. They're like they lodge, and they're there for a long time. And then you get all those side effects, right? But the oils are in and out. And so you have less side effects. But then the other thing is you need more of it. You need more oil than, like, volume-wise, I'm saying. Okay? And so this just goes to show that if you need maybe a milligram of this medication, you might need a whole 5 milligrams of essential oil. Mm-hmm. So just kind of as a general rule, you do have to use the oil more frequently than a pharmaceutical. Just
and there's another reason behind that as well is the clearance from the body. So not only the receptor sites, which I like to call that the puzzle pieces.
The puzzle. I like that.
Yeah, if your puzzle pieces aren't fitting together, it's not going to turn on the key for that cell to be able to release what it needs to release for the process in your body to happen. Those things, like you put the marble up here and it goes down, and then this has to happen to release the rubber band that's going to go over here and shoot there, and then finally the dominoes go over here, and you get a piece of candy at the end of the thing. It's like this. So if any one of those things in that little illustration I gave doesn't work, you're not going to get the required result at the end. And that's how our body is with our hormones and our receptor sites and the way that our cellular communication works and everything else. So we want to keep everything clean and detoxified. Those receptor sites can get gummed up too, right?
Yes.
So if they have toxins in them, the essential oils aren't even going to be able to get in there, much less
that's a good
pharmaceutical. So there's that, and then there's the clearance from the body. The majority of of pharmaceutical medications usually take 72 or more hours to be cleared through the liver and the kidneys. And essential oil is cleared. Most essential oils are cleared within 90 minutes. Okay, so that's another reason why you have to continue to use them. Less oils more often. Less oils more often.
I like that. I like 90 minutes. Okay. 90 minutes versus 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why we get so toxic too with medications, and we don't see those kind of toxicity issues with essential oils.
Okay. The other thing I learned about turmeric in particular is it acts on the cholesterol pathway. So it helps to decrease cholesterol the same exact way that statins work. They fit on the same receptor site. Okay. Nice. Yes. Okay. And then it also helps with depression.
With when you're feeling down.
Sad feelings. It affects it fits the same place as those MAO medications, those MAO inhibitors, which affect the neurochemistry in the brain. The same site. It was like they showed all these slides of how they just fit. That's why this is great, if you're sad. And then what was the other? The discomfort pathways, the 5 locks, same site as those NSAIDs, turmeric. Okay, wow. So this is amazing. I've been using it a lot now.
I make my little blue pills. So the little blue pills, 2 drops of turmeric, 2 drops of the yarrow palm, and 2 drops of the pink pepper. And they help with that healthy inflammatory response, right? Yes. They help with the discomfort in the body. They help, like you said, with controlling healthy lipid levels. They also help with the metabolic pathways. There's a lot of people who've been using that yarrow palm, who've been losing weight as a side effect of wanting to have, good healthy cells. So those three together, and they're not, I make up my own little blue pills, but they're fantastic. Like once or twice a day.
Wow. So are you putting the little eyedropper then in the Yarrow Palm?
Yarrow Palm is, yeah, it's really thick. So yeah, I've taken the eyedropper and just make up. Right. And Tara's doing the same thing. We're making little blue pills. Yeah.
So what do you tell your people about like the maximum number of drops they can do in a day?
From an internal perspective, 24. So
of one oil or several?
Of all oils, 24 drops internally of all oils. And I use a lot of essential oils, but I don't even come close to 24 drops. So if I'm using my LLV, the essential oils are in the omegas, and we've got 1 drop of essential oil. The rest of it is going to be your omegas that are going to be in there, but that's considered 1 drop. So if you're taking a full dose of 4, that's only 4 drops right there. Okay. And then when I'm taking my little blue pills, I've got 6 drops in there, so that's 10 drops. And usually, my DDR Prime, I take that as well. That is 5 drops of essential oils. So just from my supplements, I'm probably getting not even 15 drops. It depends on if I'm adding in my Zendocrine, or if I have some other things I'm adding in that day. But it's really hard to get up to 24 drops of oil a day.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's just for proper clearance from the body.
Yeah. And that's internal.
That's internal. That's internal. Yes.
So I like this book I showed you. What book do you like?
Well, I don't have anything like that. I got to get that. But my favorite one for learning about how they work at the cellular level is The Chemistry of Essential Oils. And I like the byline on this. God's love manifest in molecules. Okay?
I love that. Yeah.
Right. So this is from a Christian author. He is also the author of Healing Oils of the Bible.
Yes.
And so he tells us about chemistry. I believe the Bible's a chemistry book. I mean, I know I'm a geek, but I find chemistry in the Bible, in Scripture all the time. And so, I believe that, when science makes a new discovery, when science comes out and says, we just found out that, boom, whatever it is, I just look at that and I kind of shake my head and I picture God up there just going, I told him another secret, like I do this all the time because I created them, and how beautiful and amazing and creative the human body is, and how much we can screw it up. Right? I mean, by the things that we eat, by not exercising, by the stress we put in our lives, by literally the toxic chemicals that we release from our brain. I'm doing a lot of studies right now on, neurochemistry in the brain. I know, like I am a geek. But neuroplasticity is a real thing. Yes. And we can become a new creation. We literally can do that. And so knowing that, neuroplasticity, there you
Oh, you mean that?
Wait a minute. Who switched off my brain? You have Who Switched On My Brain. I have that one down here too. And then I have the Brain Bible. I'm like, oh yeah, Dr. Caroline Leaf.
Yes.
Yeah, she wrote this one too. This was her first book. I've got that on my desk somewhere because I'm actually writing a book now. Hi.
You are great.
I'm writing a book about the brain chemistry and how our stress affects us and how essential oils. I'm gonna have a whole chapter on essential oils in this book.
Oh, great.
So I'm writing it with a co-author. We're about 8 chapters into that right now, and we're super excited about it.
That is super exciting. How do you do it all? How do you manage? Because I see you. I see that you're
me.
And so
kids and adults.
About you is I can tell you're a good planner.
Well,
you think ahead. And so is that something you learned or something you were born with?
I don't know. I think Tara's probably over there laughing because she knows me better than anyone. Yes, exactly. I mean, sometimes it looks really good on the outside, and I am productive. But I mean, I'm a screw up just like the rest of us, and I think that when we admit and we're vulnerable about not only our weaknesses, but we can admit our strengths, we become the type of human being that God can use. And so I am way more than willing to say I am probably the least organized person. I'm late a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things in my life that I would like to change, but it's how God created me. And the fact that I'm embracing the fact of how God created me is helping me to be more productive. And so I'm embracing the fact that I can stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning and write, and that's okay now, without beating myself up and going, no, you can't do that. But I'm going to ask you the same question. You have 7 kids. Your husband's a doctor. You're a doctor. How do you do it?
It's by the grace of God. It is. And then I can't do it all. There's times where I focus more here and then this gets left out. I mean, even my kids, like there'll be years. And this is something I learned through homeschooling. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I'm not trying to get through these requirements by the end of the year. It's really an 18-year process. There's years where I spend more time with one kid on their reading, and then this other kid suffers on their math for a year. And they're fine. They're happy they're playing, but the next year we'll focus more on that. And usually it's when they're already ready. So I'd say, and my home too, my goodness, when I was doing Diamond Club, it's like, looked like a bomb was set off in my house. I'm still like recovering from it. But, I was really doing what I felt the Lord wanted me to do at the time, which was Diamond Club. And I do feel that this is what the Lord wants me to do. And so I feel if I can walk in his path, He'll take care of the rest.
And that's what's important, isn't it? That's what's important when we get ourselves outside of his plan for us. That's when we feel frazzled. That's when we feel like we can't do it. I feel like I'm completely like my medical background, my spiritual background, my geekiness, my even my own personal story, that everything lined up.
I know you're writing a book now.
Yeah, to put me on the right path to where I'm supposed to be. Therefore, nothing seems like too much of a struggle. It's because I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So very cool. I know we've got some other folks on here. Does anybody have any questions? Because we're kind of getting towards the end of our time here. Questions for the doctor? Not me, her.
We have another doctor here on. Dr. Peter's here too. He's the one
okay. Yes, Peter, hi. So do you have anything that you would like to add as a medical professional that we haven't covered?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, nothing more than what Tina has said, but I have to say I have been using the oils more within my practice. Whereas I think in earlier years, I was kind of hesitant on using it on patients, directly. So as a dentist, as an oral surgeon, I deal with anxiety a lot in my office. And so I carry Serenity with me all the time and have been, using it, have patients using it, users in all my operatories. So I've been able to really incorporate the oils in my office a lot more. I'm more open to it. Whereas I would say maybe a couple of years ago, it was only more personal use rather than using it at work.
Yeah. And how open are your patients?
Oh, very open. I mean, they love it. I often get comments that, boy, I've never been to a medical or dental office like this, where we have diffusers in every room, and I'm freely giving it to them. Oh, are you anxious? Oh, I got something for you. And they love it. I mean, so I've been able to introduce a lot of oils that way.
Yeah. So I bet your patients go out and say, I've got an amazing new dentist. And so you probably get referrals that way, even just because of that.
We'll see. I mean, I just started doing that, being more comfortable doing that. Whereas, like I said before, I was a little hesitant. And so now I'm freely, displaying everything. I got a really nice display of all the oils around my one of my treatment rooms. And so let's see where it takes us. I think my next step is just having regular meetings at my office, weekly, every, so often. I mean, regularly, so we can have the community come by every Thursday night, or whatever that is.
Well, it's medical professionals are a trusted source of information, so it's not like, like Tina was mentioning a little bit earlier, multi-level marketing kind of gets a bad rap. And just the fact that doTERRA is a multi-level marketing company, an amazing multi-level marketing company, and really multi-level marketing, it's moms being able to be at home with their kids and make a living. It's somebody being able to have a supplemental income that's going to be able to put food on the table that month. It's not a scam. It's not just a way to make money. It's not that we're hustling people into something. We really do want what's best for them. And as medical professionals, when we can get ourselves out there and really put the science behind the business, it really gives us and the profession and doTERRA credibility. So we're really, really doing a service. So thank you, Dr. Peter, for doing what you're doing.
I would agree. What's great about doTERRA too is that we are really leading with a product as opposed to other MLMs. It's like an opportunity, or this really is a product, and we're educating on the product. And something that I thought of when we went to the Las Vegas medical symposium was the scientists there, they decided to do essential oil research just on their own volition. And they just ordered essential oils from multiple brands, and then found that doTERRA was consistent every single time between lots, between batches. And they said, what's really exciting for them, because we were there as clinicians, what was really exciting for them was that we were able to validate what they see on the bench in patients. And actual, I'm sorry.
Thank you for calling.
Oh, sorry.
626-898-9177.
Okay. You just have to, I don't even know how to turn that off. Okay. Oh, volume. Okay, there we go. So, he, the scientist was saying, you guys as clinicians, you should really just do studies. You have the patient base, you have people using it. Why aren't you doing studies on those people? And I was thinking, they don't have to be like IRB and everything, but I was thinking, what if we as medical professionals just asked some of our people that we've introduced to oils, hey, would you be interested in like some data collection? Could I collect some data from you? Could we do some pre and post labs here and see where it lands? And then just have even 20 people. We could say, hey, this worked for these 20 people in their mid 40s to 50s. This is the protocol they used. Why don't we try this on you? I'm just kind of throwing it out there because, we all have an influence. And, I'm not the most organized person either.
Well, here's a thought.
Right? What do you think about that?
I love you. Thank you for admitting that. One of the leaders on my team has started doing something that is working tremendously well for her. And she challenges people to take LLV and DDR prime for 30 days. And after 30 days, if you don't see an improvement, I don't know if she's offering them 50 PV in products or whatever, but really I challenge you, just 30 days. Okay, it's going to cost you this much money. You're going to be on LRP for this amount of time. If you don't want to do it anymore, you don't have to, but just give me 30 days. And she has had so many people take her up on that. And I think that that's really fantastic too, maybe even from a perspective of physicians. If we can get the numbers before and the numbers afterwards, that would be a really, really good indicator. Right. But I think that, people are just going to feel better anyway, because she goes, I go into this with, complete confidence that they're never going to get off LRP because they're going to love these products so much and that they're going to feel so much different. Right. It's really, really a super valuable tool. But to have the numbers to back it up, you bet.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Someone wants you bad.
Huh? It's my mother-in-law. She loves it a lot. I love her too. But okay, I should probably get it. Well, you guys go ahead and keep talking.
Okay, so we are kind of at the end here. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions.
We are unable to answer the phone. So please.
Okay.
I know a couple of people came in late, and Elaine was here early, so thank you for that. But yeah, Tina, do you have anything that you want to just to end with?
What's the climate like in Wyoming? I mean, not just weather-wise, but
I was going to say snowing, but
oh, it's snowing. How do you
not
guys do
yet.
classes?
Not quite yet.
Okay. Where do you do classes, and how do you share? And
you know, I think it's anywhere, and it's a lot of our perspective. I have some a team on the East Coast, and you know, I've got a lot of team here. I was on a call with my team on the East Coast a couple of days ago, and they said, you know, I think you in the West there, you have it so easy because everybody's knowing about essential oils now, everybody's learning about them, and so, you know, now the ball is rolling there and everybody really wants them. And they said, here on the East Coast, nobody knows about them, so it's just a really hard sell. You know, you guys have it so much easier. And I was like, excuse me. I said, everybody knows about essential oils now. Everybody has them. So it is a harder sell for us because more people already have them. You on the East Coast, you've got way more people to talk about. So I think it's always our perspective and a perspective switch that not only we have as business people, but that our clientele have as to how essential oils work. And Tara and I yesterday just had an amazing wellness consult with one of her friends. And you could just see the light bulbs going on, like one after the other, as we were telling her about these new oils, about oils she already has and how she can use them. But that's where the perspective switch comes in. I don't care if you're on the East Coast or the West Coast or, you know, Ghana. Everybody needs essential oils. But if they don't know how to use them, they're not going to. Mm-hmm. And that's up to us. That's what we are. We're a team of educators, and that's who I want my team to be. I want my team to go out and not only sell people essential oils, but teach them how to use them, or we will not have not only a sustainable business, essential oils themselves will not become sustainable if people don't know how to use them.
Right,
so
exactly.
We have to be courageous enough to not only tell people about them, but teach them how to effectively use them.
Right. Do that follow-up. I would agree. And I'd have to say, too, that I think that the hardest part is the person who actually owns the oils, because they need to do it. You know, we could tell them so many things, and if they don't pull it out,
right,
it's not going to work.
That's why Western medicine will never go away, because people are still always going to want to go to a doctor and say, fix it. Mm-hmm. You know, instead of us being the empowered over our own healthcare to learn enough how to use it. That's the scary part for a lot of people.
Yes, it is. It is, right? Doing it on your own. Yeah. Okay. So, have some kids coming. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I think we can wrap it up, unless someone has anything that they want to ask.
I have a question about the LLV. Do you recommend half dosage to anyone, or you full dosage for everyone?
Great question. I believe that everybody has their own user's manual. I don't believe that the back of a bottle should be able to tell us how much we need. However, this is what I suggest for people because it's highly detoxifying, the LLV is. And so if somebody gets on a full dose of 4 on the LLV right away and they detoxify quickly and they feel like crap, they're not going to keep doing it because they don't understand the detoxification, the headachy, the fatigue, the everything else that goes with it. So I suggest that for the first 4 days that you take 1 of each a day, and then you assess how your body is feeling. If you're feeling pretty good about it, move up to 2 of each a day. Do that again for another 3 to 4 days. If you're starting to feel some achiness or whatever, take your detox bath. I walk them through starting LLV because I knew I started on 4 of each a day and I detoxified really quickly and I felt really, really crappy for about 2 weeks. But I knew what was going to happen in my body, and so I was okay with that. Then move up to 3 of each a day. So moving into a full 4 should take about 2 weeks. And then at 2 weeks, you know, the medical professionals on here are going to understand a loading dose, right? So I call it, take your loading dose of Lifelong Vitality, give it a good 2 to 3 months until you have energy, you're feeling better, there's not as much discomfort in your body. And when you start to feel really good, try to go back to a half dose. If you're eating well, if you're exercising, if you're doing those things in your body that are making you feel good anyway, a half dose may be good for you. I can't tell you that. You have to know that on your own. Some people have said, oh, no, 2 doesn't do it for me. I have to take 4. My feeling is that 1 of each is better than none of each a day. So, but a full 4, now most of the time I get away with 2 of each a day, but if I'm not feeling good, if I'm feeling fatigued, I'm going to take my full 4 until my body starts to feel better again, and then I can back down again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because we started with the 4. And in 2 weeks, he had more flexibility in his ankle. He already saw it, but then he couldn't sleep. So we tried doing 2, and I asked him, and he said, I'm actually having a little more pain.
Okay.
So
for your husband, the deep blue polyphenols are probably...
yeah, we ran out of that. So then we did Copaiba pills. I got that in the box.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that working?
Again, I put him down to 2 because he couldn't sleep. We tried the Serenity pills, but he's not a good sleeper in the first place. So we didn't know if he was taking the other 4 too late in the evening. Because I gave it to him to take in lunch, but they come back going, I forgot to take them, or I didn't eat lunch, you know?
Right. So I suggest that people don't take their Lifelong Vitality after about 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Because it's not that there's, you know, a stimulant in it or anything like that, but it revs up the body's natural systems that are going to give energy instead of at those times when you want to start to wind down.
Okay, so I'll probably give it to him, and if he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, he'll just have to go the next day until...
If it's affecting his sleep. Some people it doesn't affect their sleep, some people it doesn't.
He's a bad sleeper anyways, so, you know, who knows. Okay.
Tina, did you have something?
Thank you.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, me, I sleep well.
Okay.
I can take it anytime. And I feel so great with the 4, the recommended dose. It's like, I don't want to go back to not feeling this great, so I just do the 4.
I think everyone on the planet needs to be on LLB. Sorry.
Yeah, my friend was taking all 12 at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah. I think someone I know here was doing that.
You can, but your body's going to absorb it better if you can split it up into 2 doses too.
Yeah.
I've tried taking 12 at one time because I tend to forget, and for me that was okay.
Yeah. Well, and it's like a meal, isn't it, Peter? It's like, wow, that's a lot of stuff.
But I like what Kathy just described, because I just finished a health coaching, a 12-month health coaching program that stresses bio-individuality. So not every diet we should stick with, and I think the same thing with the LLV. You know, I like the way your approach was to work it up. Once you get to a certain level, then start adjusting it to see how your body takes it. So I like that approach.
And I like that you say that too, because that's what my book's about. It's called Destination Wellness, Creating Your Own User's Manual. So, you know, we all have a user's manual that is for us. And not every oil is going to work exactly the same. Not every herb is going to work the same. We're not going to like the same books. We're not going to pray the same way. But we have to have a user's manual. You know, yoga. I mean, for instance, for some people, the spirituality behind yoga is going to keep them away from that. Well, don't do yoga. But if you can stretch and pray to the Lord, and that's good for you, you know, then... And that's okay with your spirit, and it lines up with what you want to do physically, then do it. So, Peter, I'm glad you said that we're really starting to realize as a medical profession that one size doesn't fit all.
So now, since you brought that up, I'm expecting a personally signed copy of your book.
All right, I'll get a box off to Tina, a box of signed copies.
Thank you. Yes, we'll definitely give it a plug.
Yes, good. Well, I hope so. There's going to be an entire chapter in there on essential oils. We're really excited. I'm writing it with an exercise physiologist, and
nice.
And she's also getting her PhD in nutrition. So
Oh, wow.
we've got something to say to the world. We're really excited about it.
Can't wait. When is it going to be out?
Well, we hope to have the writing part completed by the end of this month, and then we'll go into edits.
Wow.
Then we'll go into illustration. So probably, I imagine realistically, it's going to be spring.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Good job.
Well,
Good job.
yes, excited about it.
We'll
Okay,
get a discount since we're on here.
What's that?
I said, hope we get a discount since we're on this speed.
Yeah, you can give us a discount
Good for
code.
you.
We'll see. You guys can have me come out there for a speaking engagement, and I'll give them to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Sound good?
We'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You'll like
All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and just say goodbye.